My name's Gabby Harkness. I'm a senior here at Gonzaga. I'm an English literature major studying secondary education to hopefully become an English teacher.
My name's Olivia Bell. I'm also a senior. I'm a history major here at Gonzaga, also getting a secondary teaching certificate, and I want to be a teacher.
You have an interesting story. I just kind of want you to talk to me about why you want to be teachers.
This is a big question. When people think of where Olivia and I are from, they group the people in with the statistics. Years and years of false claims and false stories and misconceptions have created a narrative that fails to adhere to the truth of both the people and the neighborhood itself. Our neighborhood it's not what they say it is. Growing up, my brothers are 12 and 14 years older than me, so when they were in high school, I was still running around the halls at Rogers like I owned it, and I was convinced. I told my mom, I'm gonna go to Bemis and then Rogers, and Mom was like, well, you have to go to middle school first. You gotta make a little pit stop at Shaw, and I was distraught. Like, I just wanted to go to Rogers. My parents, because they knew I wanted to go to college so bad, they were like, we want you to consider going to G Prep. We want you to have the best chance to go to college as possible. And so I took the test just to, appease them. And I got in, and I was like, all right, took the test, I'm not going. I'm not going.
My neighborhood is the Meade School district boundary is right here, and my neighborhood's right here, so I'm right on the edge of it. So my parents, all throughout elementary school and stuff, oh, we're gonna get you to Meade, into the Meade School District, and Meade's a good school. The time came to start middle school, and they had us into Mountainside Middle School, but I didn't want to go there. But I can also understand wanting to do what they thought was best, but I'm very glad that eventually they just decided to let us go into the neighborhood schools. So it ended up me and my sister went to Gary, and I liked it. I found my groove. Local public education is amazing. So after that, there was no question, we're already at Gary, we're just gonna go to Rogers.
So freshman year, I went to Rogers, and the first day, my brother's old teachers, their old coaches, Harkness, so excited that I was there.
Rogers is an amazing school.
And it just felt like home. I didn't feel nervous. I knew I belonged there. And I knew that I had a purpose to serve.
That's where I first found my community at Rogers was with the soccer girls. And then I had done ASB in middle school, so I decided to join freshman leadership. That's kind of where I found more belonging. I really loved leadership. I loved Mrs. Doctorman. I loved my peers. I wrote all my essays about how much leadership had done for me at Rogers. And then I just always loved history, so.
Rogers brought us together before our family really brought us together. Good old Mr. Burns' English class. Liv and I and her twin sister Marissa were all in the same honors English class for freshman year. He calls their last names back to back, and I was like, you guys are twins? So baffled. And then I became best friends with them, and the summer after freshman year, Olivia calls me in the middle of summer and goes, how do you know Tyler Brown? And I was like, that's my cousin. She goes, that's my cousin. And now we're cousins.
Yeah.
And we're best friends. I struggled quite a bit with attention and reading and stuff when I was in middle school, and when I got to Rogers High School here in Spokane, I had the most amazing English teachers.
I was always a shy, quiet kid. I still am. But in Mrs. Doctorman's class, I felt I belonged, and I finally had a teacher that took the time to get to know me, and I think that's what did it for me.
I am constantly talking. I always have a lot to say. And for a long time I was really insecure about that, and I thought that my voice was a burden to the environments that I was in, and I think that those teachers I had, Mr. Burns, Mrs. Yelenich, and Mr. Dewey, my English teachers, and Dr. Min too, helped me realize the potential that my voice had, and rather than trying to pull me up to meet this specific standard, they were like, okay, this is where she's at, and we're gonna help her get there by walking backwards to her and bring her to where she wants to get to.
I always knew I wanted to do something that would make a difference in the world, and for me, becoming a teacher and like especially teaching history. For me, that was what I thought would make a difference in the world.
I just want to change the lives of students like me who have these big dreams and they don't know how to get them. I'm gonna embrace the thing that I felt like I was terrible at and study it hard, and hopefully go back and help students that want to do the things that I wanted to do as well.
I remember having student teachers and they went to Gonzaga. I was like, I'm gonna go to Gonzaga.
From the time I knew what college was, I was like, I'm going to Gonzaga. And so my parents were like, financial aid is gonna be your best friend. Like, you're gonna have to find a way to pay for that.
I was gonna go to Gonzaga or I was gonna go to WSU, and it was whichever one gave me the most money.
And so then when I started realizing, like, not only the like monetary involvement it takes, but like the dedication it takes to continue to go here, I like really started working. Like, I was like, I'm gonna build my application, I'm gonna get involved in everything. And then I realized how much I was enjoying it while I was doing it to build my like applications and resume. Liv and I leaned on each other a lot senior year. I mean, it was like we opened our letters at the same time because it was like we wanted to do it together. Like we knew that we needed that support system.
Dodie!
We knew you would.
Did we think it would be down?
I'm still scared. Daddy!
We said I like to be loved on.
Where we come from, you can't pay what it takes to go here. It's a lot. The financial burden of the neighborhoods we grew up in is a huge burden. Like, it's not just on the families of the kids, but the kids themselves.
And it's like something that it's like, even if like someone doesn't exactly know your financial situation, it's like, oh, well, you go to Rogers, how are you gonna afford to go to Gonzaga? It's however expensive it is every year.
We both were working weekends
Yeah,
after practice.
I started my first job like March 16th, 2020.
We both started working at 16 though.
Yeah.
This wasn't just like a college decision.
Gonzaga ended up giving me an extra scholarship. It was called like a community scholarship because I had done so much work with like leadership.
My entire tuition is covered from the Pell Grant, which I try and talk to Rogers students about all the time because it's an awesome opportunity.
It's the Gonzaga Promise too.
It's the Gonzaga Promise. So if you qualify for the Pell Grant, your tuition is covered. And then I also qualified for an academic scholarship.
My name is Gabby and Olivia, and I'm going to Gonzaga University. My name is Olivia, and I'm going to Gonzaga University.
Neither of my parents went to college, so I'm the first in my family to go. When we did our senior signing day, it was like, my name's Gabby Harkness, I'm going to Gonzaga. My name's Olivia Bell, I'm going to Gonzaga, and that was it. We were the only two. And as exciting as that was for us, it was also like,
Scary.
it was also scary, because it's like, why not more? You know, like, we had so many capable kids in our graduating class.
It was kind of weird, like everyone around us is not from Spokane, but then we are. And it was like, I don't know, almost a culture shock coming to live down here because everyone else is like from California or whatever. It's so different.
It really is a bubble. We had the luxury still of taking so many classes together and being able to be like, I have no idea what our Math 107 professor is talking about. Like, help me. So
It was mostly me to her.
It's true. That's true. But being able to confide in each other and know that, like, because we were living such a unique lifestyle in comparison to a lot of our peers, being able to be like, I understand. Like, she'd come home and she'd be like, I'm so pissed. Like, I'm so exhausted. And I'd say, yeah, me too. Like, and know that I'm not just like sympathizing with her, but I'm empathizing. I understand.
There was one night I remember Gabby texted me pulse check, and then I came back in the dorm just like sobbing.
Yeah, that's always been our thing. Pulse check. And it's just like, are you alive? Like, are you good?
Yeah.
You know? And she came in just crying. And I was like, all right, Like I took my like roommate hat off and was like best friend hat on, cousin hat on, and we just like, I think with the lack of words, because there's only so many things you can say when you're that upset.
Yeah.
You know?
And then I remember like a conversation we were having when we would always talk like we were laying in bed trying to go to sleep.
A lot of late nights in that dorm room.
I remember when we were in Dussault, we were laying there talking one night, and we were like, oh God, it's like 2 o'clock in the morning. We've been talking for 2 hours.
Yeah. Those tough conversations were all just a part of the, you know,
Yeah.
we're gonna make it somehow, some way we're gonna make it through.
I come in to like the office every Monday, and Henry's like, oh, what'd you do this weekend? I'm like, you know what I did. I was working at Papa Murphy's all weekend.
Slinging coffee, Henry.
Just making pizzas and having lovely customer interactions.
Yes.
I have to work. I have to put gas in my car. I have to pay my insurance. I have to pay rent. I have to buy groceries. I don't get the luxury of just having a weekend to relax like other my peers do. But that's what I chose.
It's hard to complain about the life that I'm living when it's the dream life 16-year-old me had. It's like, it is hard to like be like, I'm so tired. I'm so, you know, like, I'm so broke. I have no money. Like, when this is the life that like I worked so hard for. And it's so incredible to see that like 4 years ago we were seniors announcing we were going to Gonzaga, and 4 years later we're in our second to last semester of school and are gonna get our bachelor's. It's truly all the hard work, all the money, all the lack of sleep, the 3 jobs, the 2 jobs, all of it's been so worth it. And wouldn't change it at all.
I've grown up so much over this time, and I'm so grateful for all the time I've had here, and I'm really curious who I would be if I hadn't come here.
Why Gonzaga for me is I wanted to stay close and be involved in this community. Truly serving the Northeast community is like the thing I'm the most passionate about in my life. I didn't want to disconnect myself to the point of not wanting to come back. And being able to like get done with class or get done with anything I'm working on and go to practice and coach the kids that are going through the exact same like cycle of life that I was just 4 years ago is so rewarding.
Just left my 5:10 to 8 p.m. night class. I'm on my way to our Medical Lake home game. Game starts at 7, so I have an hour before game starts, and we're gonna get warm-up started and hopefully take a win tonight. We'll see what happens.
And being able to also serve as like a demonstration to them that this is possible, because it's hard when you're in that environment and you have a lot of people around you literally telling you that you can't make it and also just thinking it and you can feel it. It's hard, really hard to find the motivation to say I'm gonna go to Gonzaga or I'm gonna go to some school that is deemed really nice and a great education. So I think for me it's staying here and like remembering where I came from so they can come and do it too. Going back, working with the kids, working with the staff, finding ways to better the school, coaching them, just being there, going to games as a spectator, like just being in that environment is one of the things I find the most satisfaction in. We're the only 2 graduates from the class of 2022 from Rogers who came to Gonzaga, and we're the only 2 that made it all the way through. Because we started together and we're ending together. I've had professionals call Hilliard a trailer park. And we're like, I had mentioned I went to Rogers and they're like, oh, you're from the trailer park in Hilliard. And I was like, we don't have a trailer park in Hilliard.
I remember I was working at a grocery store in the community, and like I told this guy that had just moved here, he was working at Albertsons with me. I was like, oh, I go to Rogers. He was like, oh, that sucks. I'm like, bro, you just moved here from the west side. Like, how do you already have that?
We're still being told like our school sucks, we're not gonna succeed. So we're taking that information in and we're rolling with it because we think that everybody else's opinions matter.
Our neighborhood it's not what they say it is. We are Hilliard. Let's talk about our neighborhood.